Today started out as the best day of my life. You know what that's gonna say? Joe Gardner. I did it. I got the gig.
Okay, look, I already know everything about Earth, and I don't want anything to do with it.
When Soul arrived in 2020, it carried with it a deceptively simple question. What is it that makes you, you? Beneath its vibrant animation and playful humor, the film unfolds as a meditation on purpose, identity, passion, and the quiet beauty of everyday existence. Created by Pixar Animation Studios and released during the holiday season as a streaming exclusive on Disney+, the story follows a man who believes he understands his life's calling, only to discover that his definition of purpose may have been too narrow all along. At the center of the film is Joe Gardner, voiced with warmth and expressive nuance by Jamie Foxx. Joe is a middle school band teacher in New York City, a man whose heart beats in sync with jazz rhythms and smoky club stages. For years, he has dreamed of performing professionally, longing for the electric feeling of being fully immersed in music. His everyday reality, however, consists of classroom rehearsals and students who don't always share his enthusiasm. Joe isn't portrayed as unhappy, but he is restless. He views his teaching job as a compromise, a placeholder, while he waits for his real life to begin. That long-awaited opportunity finally arrives when he lands a chance to play piano with a renowned jazz ensemble at the best club in town. In that moment, Joe feels the universe aligning. This is it. This is the spark he has been waiting for. The audition sequence captures the pure transcendence of musical performance. Joe's fingers glide across the keys, the music swells, and time seems to dissolve. For him, jazz is not just sound, it is identity. It is proof that he matters. But just as quickly as destiny seems to smile on him, fate intervenes. In a sudden and darkly comedic twist, a small misstep sends Joe tumbling out of his physical life. Instead of celebrating his breakthrough gig, he finds himself drifting toward the great beyond. The film handles this existential pivot with both humor and sensitivity, balancing the gravity of mortality with whimsical visual invention. Joe, not ready to let go of the life he has barely begun to live, refuses to accept his fate. His determination leads him somewhere unexpected, not back to Earth, but into a cosmic realm known as the Great Before. The Great Before is one of the film's most imaginative creations. It is a fantastical, abstract place where new souls are prepared before being sent to Earth. Here, personalities are shaped, quirks are assigned, and interests are discovered. The visual design is playful yet ethereal, filled with soft colors, geometric landscapes, and beings that defy physical form. It is a place of infinite possibility, untouched by cynicism or disappointment. For Joe, however, it is an obstacle. He does not belong here, and he is determined to find a way back to his body before his big night at the jazz club slips away forever. It is in this strange realm that Joe meets 22, voiced by Tina Fey. Unlike the eager souls around her, 22 has no interest in going to Earth. She is spent what feels like eternity in the Great Before, resisting every attempt by mentors to inspire her. Nothing impresses her. Not art, not science, not adventure. She views the human experience with skepticism, bordering on disdain. Life, from her perspective, seems messy, painful, and confusing. Why would anyone want to sign up for that? The dynamic between Joe and 22 forms the emotional core of the story. Joe needs 22's Earth pass to return to his body, and 22 reluctantly agrees to help him if he can show her what makes life worth living. What begins as a transactional partnership slowly evolves into something deeper. Through Joe's urgency and 22's indifference, the film explores two opposing philosophies: the belief that life's meaning lies in achieving a singular grand purpose, and the idea that meaning might be found in something far less dramatic. As Joe attempts to convince 22 of life's wonders, he speaks passionately about music, about the way jazz can lift you out of yourself and connect you to something larger. For him, that transcendent feeling is proof of purpose. He describes it as the spark, the thing that makes you uniquely you. Yet The Great Before suggests that a spark is not the same as a predetermined destiny. The film gently challenges the assumption that everyone is born with one specific mission. Instead, it suggests that passions are part of life, not the sole justification for it. The journey back to Earth does not unfold as Joe expects. In a body swap twist, 22 ends up inhabiting Joe's physical form, while Joe finds himself observing life from an unexpected perspective. This narrative shift becomes the film's most powerful device. Through 22's fresh eyes, ordinary experiences become extraordinary. The taste of pizza, the warmth of a breeze, the sound of a subway musician, the simple act of walking down a city street. These moments, which Joe has long overlooked in pursuit of his dream, are revelations to 22. She begins to discover a quiet appreciation for existence itself. Meanwhile, Joe grows increasingly frustrated. He is so focused on reclaiming his body and securing his jazz performance that he fails to notice how much 22 is learning. His obsession reveals a hard truth. In defining himself solely by his ambition, he has narrowed his own understanding of life. The film does not dismiss dreams or artistic aspiration. In fact, it celebrates them. But it questions the idea that fulfillment lies exclusively in achievement. The creative leadership behind the film reflects this thematic depth. Directed by Academy Award winner Pete Docter, known for exploring emotional and philosophical terrain in previous Pixar projects, and co-directed by Kemp Powers, the film blends humor with introspection in a way that feels distinctly mature while remaining accessible to younger audiences. The production, guided by producer Dana Murray, demonstrates a commitment to storytelling that respects its viewers' intelligence. Music plays a central role in shaping the film's atmosphere. Jazz sequences are animated with kinetic energy, visually translating improvisation into movement and light. When Joe plays, the world transforms, underscoring how art can alter perception. Yet the film contrasts these soaring moments with quiet, reflective passages that emphasize stillness. It is in these pauses that the film's message resonates most clearly. Life is not only about the crescendo, it is also about the subtle notes in between. As the story progresses, Joe eventually gets the performance he has dreamed of. He stands on stage at the jazz club, immersed in the music, feeling that familiar rush. For a moment, everything aligns. And then something unexpected happens. After the applause fades, Joe realizes that the experience, while beautiful, does not provide the permanent fulfillment he imagined. The goal he built his identity around turns out to be a single chapter, not the entire book. This realization marks the turning point. Joe begins to understand that purpose is not a destination you reach once and for all. It's a way of engaging with the world. The film reframes the concept of a spark, not as a fixed calling, but as the simple desire to live, to participate, to be present. 22's journey mirrors this revelation. In discovering joy in small, fleeting moments, she finds her own reason to embrace life, not because she has identified a grand mission, but because existence itself has value. Visually, the contrast between New York City and the Great Before reinforces this theme. The city is textured and detailed, filled with movement and unpredictability. The Great Before is abstract and serene. One is messy and imperfect, the other is orderly and safe. Yet it is the messiness of Earth that gives life its richness. The film suggests that uncertainty, vulnerability, and even disappointment are not flaws to be avoided, but essential components of being alive. In the end, Joe is given another chance. This resolution is not framed as a reward for achieving greatness, but as an opportunity to live differently. He returns with a renewed perspective, no longer viewing his life as a waiting room for success. Instead, he recognizes the inherent worth of each day. The final moments carry a quiet optimism, leaving audiences with a sense of gratitude rather than spectacle. What makes the film resonate so deeply is its willingness to grapple with existential questions without losing its sense of wonder. It acknowledges the fear of insignificance, the anxiety of unfulfilled dreams, and the temptation to measure one's value by external milestones. At the same time, it offers reassurance. You do not need a singular, world-changing purpose to justify your existence. Being here, experiencing the world in all its complexity, is enough. The voice performances contribute significantly to the film's emotional texture. Jamie Foxx imbues Joe with both humor and vulnerability, capturing the frustration of a man who feels overlooked, as well as the joy of artistic expression. Tina Fey gives 22 a sharp wit that gradually softens into curiosity and empathy. Their chemistry drives the narrative, transforming abstract philosophy into relatable conversation. Released during a time when many people were reflecting on life's fragility and unpredictability, the film's themes felt especially timely. Streaming exclusively on Disney Plus during the Christmas season, it reached audiences in their homes, offering comfort and introspection in equal measure. Its message transcends age demographics, inviting children to ask big questions and encouraging adults to reconsider long-held assumptions. Ultimately, the film stands as one of Pixar's most contemplative works. It dares to slow down, to ask uncomfortable questions, and to resist easy answers. It celebrates ambition while warning against allowing ambition to eclipse everything else. It portrays art as transformative, but reminds us that transformation can also come from something as simple as sharing a meal or feeling the sun on your face. In asking what makes you you, the story suggests that identity is not a single trait or talent. It is a mosaic of experiences, relationships, passions, and fleeting sensations. It is the way you respond to the world and the way the world shapes you in return. By the time the credits roll, the question no longer feels intimidating, it feels liberating. The legacy of Soul lies not only in its technical brilliance or its imaginative world-building, but in its philosophical courage. It trusts its audience to sit with ambiguity, to consider that life's meaning may be less about achieving greatness and more about embracing presence. Through Joe's journey from obsession to awareness and 22's transformation from apathy to wonder, the film crafts a narrative that is both intimate and universal. In the end, Soul is not simply a story about a musician chasing a dream. It is a reflection on the human condition itself. It reminds us that while sparks ignite passion, it is the steady glow of everyday moments that sustain us. And perhaps that is the quiet revelation at the heart of the film. You are not defined solely by what you do, but by how fully you choose to live.